with it until it is done.
Thomas here with Much Props, going to give you another how-to video. Today I am building something from the new Doom game. No, Bethesda did not reach out to me to ask me to make anything, but I have seen a lot of people that I follow who have had the pleasure, maybe someday, but I was looking at the game and the first thing that stuck out to me was the shield because it's awesome and I like building shields, but I don't have that amount of time. So today I am going to tackle a very small thing that I think most people could do in a couple of hours, and that is the key cards. If you've ever played Doom, it is an essential part of unlocking areas, and I really like the design of the new one. The old school was very plain, blurry, pixelated. This one is very detailed, and I drew out some templates for it. It's a couple of layers stacked on top of each other with some stuff carved into it. So today we are going to build a Doom key card out of foam. Let's get to building. Template in the description. At the time of me releasing this video, the game has been out for about a week. The original series came out when I was only 10 years old. I think this makes for like the 9th iteration of this franchise, and it's absolutely insane to see how far graphics and gameplay has changed over the years. I love that some of the mechanics of the game have stayed true to the OG game, and the design of key cards in the new Doom, the Dark Ages, is absolutely epic. I found a couple of images of the key cards from premium copies of the game and other merchandise that's included as like a bonus. I carefully drew out what I could interpret as the layers and traced the parts onto various thicknesses of foam. These will be labeled on the pattern that will be free to download down in the description below the video. Now I'm going to cut out the pieces of foam using a sharp hobby knife. While this is a relatively simple build, there are some little intricate bits in this object that could help you to practice your cutting skills. Try to keep the blade perpendicular to the cutting surface and make clean pulls across the lines. I would suggest starting outside cuts just outside the line and pulling them in, and inside cuts pull from a corner inward. That should make for cleaner cuts that need less sanding later. Also pay attention as you're cutting. Almost all crafters out there have scars around their fingers, palms, and back of their hands from where blades have slipped from losing focus. It usually happens towards the end when you've made dozens of similar cuts before and it slices through you. Work slow and watch the sharp bits. I made the demon head piece in the middle at the top of the keycard into 3 pieces. It sits on a base of 2mm foam with a sculpted middle section of 4mm and a jewel that I also carved out of 4mm. I have been seeing this little handheld rotary tool on several woodworkers channels that I follow here on YouTube and decided to buy one for myself for smaller details. It's called a Fantic F2 Master. It's very compact with lots of bits built into a pretty cool tool case. It's a very low powered rotary tool, so I don't think it's going to replace any of my others, but it can definitely help with the small details. On the template, I drew out a simplification of what the demon head should look like and also included a photo from my reference images to help better refer to this area. Wear a respirator and work in a well ventilated area while sanding foam. You don't want to breathe in the particles and have to explain to others why you sneeze in multiple colors. The assembly of the demon head is pretty simple, gluing that carved layer down to the base and then the jewel on the middle of the forehead. The only part that I didn't template out was that little tiny strip that goes on the edge just below the horns of the demon all the way across to the other. All I did was cut out another piece of that little 2mm foam into a strip and super glued it to the edge. I use super glue because it's easier than trying to contact cement these tiny parts. Usually I'd have like a bunch of over brushing of it and it's just kind of a waste. This is easier on the smaller parts. Now it's assembly time. I, for some reason, didn't record myself carving out the runes on the base layer of the keycard, but it's similar to carving out the demon face, but a little easier in that it's a flat surface that I'm only carving 1 to 2 millimeters deep into. I start from the bottom layer and work my way across using contact cement on all the parts to join them together. You let the glue sit up for a couple of minutes and then tack it all together. When I'm trying to line things up, I'm not concerned about making sure that the outside is perfect. I want the inside to be perfectly lined up. If bits on the outside are not even, I can sand them much easier than I could the middle. I also went ahead and rounded over the edges once everything was flush. Two coats of Plasti Dip, followed up by a light dusting of silver, brown, and black spray paint for an aged metal look. I had a debate with myself for a few minutes trying to decide which color keycard I wanted to make. There is a yellow, blue, and red card in the game. While they're not prominent in all of the Doom games, they are in most of them in these color variants. My favorite color is blue, so that's what I went with. I also get better coverage and fewer layers than I do with the yellow or the red, so that also helped to motivate me to choose this color. I'm not trying to make full coverage of the outer layers, intentionally leaving the grooves, inset, and the demon not colored in, along with some random scratches that I've put on the card. I ended up making 2 passes to get the coating that I wanted, added a little white to the mix, and made some lighter passes on the edges just to highlight them and add interest to the flat areas, also making it look like the card had been used a lot. The last step of this paint job is a dirty brown and black wash that I will push down into the recess around the demon and the runes to help them stand out. You mix a wet brush sloppily with the colors and then dab that into the cracks and crevices. Once covered, I took a paper towel and wiped off most of the paint, leaving all the things in the recess to sit. I hope you enjoyed this simple build, and I look forward to seeing others give it a go. If you do, please be sure to tag me on any posts that you do on social media. I love seeing these templates get put to good use. If you are a Doom fan, let me know down in the comments below what you think I should build next from the series, or if you have any other suggestions, I'm also down to mess around. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week for another epic build. And we are finished. Here is the end result. Now, if you want to buy the deluxe edition or whatever, I believe it comes with like a resin or a plastic version of one of these. It's pretty simple to put out. Like I said, it took me, I think, 3 hours total, and that includes making the template, painting it, foam crafting it, and recording while I did it. So you may be able to knock it out in even faster time, but yeah. Maybe you will try and make one of these yourselves and impress your friends with your ability to make a key card to an inner dimension that'll unlock some portal that'll help you get to a different part of the level and hopefully level you up and get you some super cool guns that'll shoot and pew pew everybody. Maybe. Maybe you'll get some. And inevitably, they're gonna ask you, how'd you make that? You can give them one of these, tell them, much props. Time to go swipe this indoors and see if it works. Peace out. If you enjoy what I do here on YouTube and you'd like to see more builds like this one, please consider joining these awesome people listed here with me over on my Patreon to build a bigger, better, more creative community together.